everything else versus Bitcoin essentially gets spent and dies.
I want to be able to have reactive security, and I think Opvault is today the most straightforward, easiest to use way to do that.
I will not be insulted by a clockmaker.
Overall, these kind of ways to make the network easier to both build on and interact with, I think is a really big deal.
If Bitcoin existed when we started Twitter, we would not have to go down the ad model path. I mean, it's simple as that.
Integrating Lightning into a social network is the killer app.
Hello, and welcome to the Bitcoin.Review podcast, where we explore developments and projects with the people who actually make them happen. The show is supported by Pod 2.0, Sat Streaming, and CoinKite. If you're a new listener, I'm NVK. I run CoinKite, where we've been helping people secure their Bitcoins for over a decade. We make the cold card and fun products like the block clock. You can find more information about it on coinkite.com. Hello, and welcome back to the Nostr Review. See what I did there? This is Nostr people are shipping faster than I thought, and the listers just got too big, and it couldn't be part of the Bitcoin.Review list episode, so we're going to have a Nostr Review episode. I have Nostr.Reviews, but I don't have Nostr.Review, so whoever has that domain, if you're interested in trading, hey, I could send you a Sats card and give you the plural domain. How about that? Anyway, so today I have with me Mr. Pablo.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be back. Well, not back, actually. This is the first Nostr Review, so
awesome.
Officially.
And I have the debut of Miljan, Mr. Primal. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here for the first time. Good to see you all.
And mind you that now that you're going to hear his accent, you will forever read the Primal updates with his accent. It happens to me all the time. But I know Miljan for a long time.
What a fine collection of accents we have here at this podcast today.
That's right.
Love it.
And wait, it's going to get even worse. Welcome back, Mr. Fiatjaf.
Hello. I don't know why you said it's going to get worse. Yeah.
I mean, two Brazilian accents, a Serbian accent, and Argentinian accent. It's going to be an interesting episode.
4 guys walk into a bar.
Did they make a public note?
Boom.
Boo. Jesus Christ. The comedy is already very poor from the beginning.
People are already bored.
We can only go up from here.
You can turn off the show now if you're listening to this recorded for any reason. Oh, God. Anyways, let's start to try to read the software review. All right. So I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping here. So Opensats is looking for applications for Nostr work and for Bitcoin work. So if you're looking for grants to work on awesome stuff, do apply at opensats.org/apply, I think. If you can apply, you can find the apply link somewhere. And, don't be shy, send stuff. If what you sent gets denied, we're going to give you some tips, maybe reapply later. But keep it coming. We want to see different ideas. We want to see, and we've set up a committee now, and we're adding more people to the committee. These are Nostr people, so that we have a really nice good source of feedback, and we can keep the momentum going. And Fiatjaf is looking for people to fund for Nostr projects. I think he still might have some budget. So software projects should be FOSS, non-software projects eligible too. The goal is, as always, to #grow Nostr and Footster. Okay. Nostr software updates. Damus 1.5-2. Add new full bleed video player. Ability to show multiple posts per user universe. custom iconography, added dots under image carousel, add profile caching, add mention parsing, fine-grained text selection, and description. Damus just keeps on pushing. I still haven't tried this new Wallet Connect thing. It's not part of the open test flight, right?
No, yeah, it is. You have the test flight, right?
No, like I'm using test flight, but like there is no option here for me to do.
You need to go to wallet, and then from wallet, just you'll
Delete.
see the nuke account.
Oh shit! Wallet is here. God damn it! I've been waiting all this time.
These fucking boomers, Jesus.
Jesus Christ, dude. You know, like the other day I was at the airport, right? Like in this line through security, and there was this girl with like an iPhone on Instagram thing. She took a picture with one hand. Okay, she took a picture of the line. She put like 5 lines of text, all kinds of animations and glitter and shit and fires and little icons, and added pictures of friends, and like she fucking sent the thing, like with like one sweep of a move. Like I'm like, she like brain link connected to the phone. Like I want a keyboard, like a full keyboard.
We're already falling behind. This is incredible. Like we're already too boomer. But that's a good point. You know, like the bar is pretty high that Instagram and the likes have set, and people are used to it. People are already trained to use those kind of super fast UIs. So we got work to do.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, like, these kids don't think. I mean, Jack called me a boomer today on Twitter. Just because I like email.
Wait, do you like email? What's wrong with you?
I know, right? And he's older. So who's the boomer now? Right. Nosotros. There is 3 versions here together. I'm just going to read the last one. Version 0.3.2.5-alpha. Refactor notifications, fix and performance, NIP 27 supported, and mentions and reposts. Anybody uses Nosotros here?
Nope.
I have not tried it.
Okay.
Or maybe I have. These names are all blending in. The Nostr, Nostur, Nostr, Nestar. It's too much.
Wasn't it called Nostros without the O?
Nosotros.
No, it's just Nostros.
No, nostrils are this.
What? No,
it could be a typo in here.
Just click on the link, like it says Nostros, but it's written Nosotros.
Oh,
yeah. It's a typo on the list.
There you go. So it's just a typo. Nostros.
Yeah, I tried this one. It was good. It was good. Not recently, though. It was good, but my phone is too old, so it was shitty. Just like all the other clients.
Hey, Fiat, we're going to send you an iPhone. Can we send you an iPhone?
No, I don't want this. I want that thing that imprisonates you inside your head with a goggle, like they just launched.
He wants a fancy new thing.
The Apple pod, the Apple, you're gonna live in a pod goggles.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, it's brutal.
We need a OstrichGram for that stuff. No,
Be surrounded by notes.
Okay. And with that, we go to Snort. Version 0.1.9. Discover tab, new DM style. Mention Zapster, track, and previewed on the player. Custom emojis. Language selector. Zapple. Albi. Nostr, Wallet Connect. Semi-sol dev. Follow recommendations. Discover tab. Pubkey lists, Persian language, open graph. Oh, look at that, man. There's a lot of updates there. Well done. Kieran was going to be with us, but he couldn't make it.
He's a machine.
Yes. Well, he decided correctly. He decided to not record for 2 hours and go work, and ship code.
Get ahead of ourselves.
That's right. Amethyst version 0.55.0 displays NIP85 notes in the feed, displays recommendations on profile, displays NIP89 related notifications for your apps. That's a long post, right?
That's the NIP that I wrote like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That NIP is the one that does like recommendation for apps. So if your client doesn't know how to handle a kind, you can just tap on whatever event has that kind, and it will open whatever application can handle that. So say Amethyst didn't support Subster. If you see a Subster song, and you tap it, it will just open Subster with that song. So it's pretty damn cool. NIP 89, it's for 1989, the fall of the Berlin Wall.
No, but I still think we should have just one event instead of 2. But no one knows what we're talking about, so never mind.
No, please. Let's get some criticism while we see Pablo's face receiving the criticism. It's very satisfying.
I don't understand why you can't, like, the idea of the NIP is that you recommend like I like this app, I know this app handles kind, whatever, so I recommend this app for that kind. And then your friends and whatever can fetch your recommendations. I don't know why can't this be just one event that you write recommending the app. But instead, what Pablo did was you need an event from the app creator, and then your event recommendation has to point to the event from the creator.
So the reason for 2 different kinds is the kind that the app creator, it doesn't need to be the app creator, but the app creator, it can be updated because maybe the URI changes. So the person can just change that. Just one event needs to change instead of all events that are recommending an app. So that's one. The other one that is probably more important is that if you wanted to do some kind of aggregation, some kind of wave of trust kind of thing, you can count the event, the second event, the one that the app creator created, as the one that is aggregating all the different recommendations. So that was the reason for two separate kinds.
Okay, I'm convinced.
I told you this like a million times, and it never fucking clicked, man.
I don't know how to read. Next time, attach a voice note to the explanation.
This is such a Brazilian thing to just like record like a little, instead of typing messages on Telegram and things, Brazilians just send each other voice messages. It's horrible.
Is it not common outside Brazil?
No, like nobody else does that.
How interesting. Serbians do the same, actually.
Brazilians.
No, Serbians do the same.
Well, I've had a lot of conversations that I was typing and the person answering through voice, and then I type and then the person answers through voice. It's the complete disconnection.
Voice carries a lot more signal than just the
Yeah.
sentence you put in. You know how they said it, right?
Yeah, but that reminds me too much of StarTAC. Remember, Nextel, push to talk phones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Shit.
That's right. Let's bring back push to talk on DMR so we can have decentralized comms. All right, we're good. We're almost there. Not really. Just kidding. We have still lots. Coracle 0.2.
Wait, we should talk about the Amethyst fork. Nope.
Oh yes. That's the perfect time. So yeah, Tony forked it, right? Call it Onyx now. Do you guys wanna go over?
You go, Fiatjaf.
I don't have enough context. I think Amethyst has some rule inside there that if your friends report, if 5 friends of yours or 5 people you follow report a note or a person, then it starts hiding everything from that person to you and there's no way to opt out. So there was some bit of commotion about it that Amethyst was censoring, and and then they forked it.
I like that kind of filter. It's a very, very high quality filter. I just want ways to opt out sometimes or to change the parameter, right? Because it's literally the best filter you can probably get. It's like much better than all the AI the VCs are funding out there. Like You just get like people.
But in Vitor's defense, because I think he has a really good point. It's MIT license, it's open source code.
Yeah.
If you want to change the parameter, you fork it, you change it to whatever the hell you want. And, and that's what Tony did. It's like it's playing out the way it should play out.
Everything is working. Yeah. I also like his defense. Like he said that he thinks apps should be opinionated instead of having a million settings. Yeah, and I like that. If you can have a bunch of apps, if there was only one app, it would have to have a million settings. But since we can have a lot of apps, that's the way to go, I think.
Yeah, all software should be opinionated.
100%.
You know, everything. Protocols, everything should be opinionated. We have so much shit software in the world because people are not allowed to be opinionated inside big corporations, right? They have to do design by committee, and then you end up with shit software.
That's true.
So there's no real controversy here. There's like both moves are legit. Like too bad.
Yeah, but each side hates each other, so.
Oh really? I didn't pick up on that.
That's the way it should be, though. That's what you want.
Software should be a war, right? It's all frenemies, right? Like, you know, just wait until it becomes like Bitcoin, where you have the wallet wars, you have the coin mixing wars, you have the hardware wars, the mining wars, the BIP wars, the block size wars. You know, it's like everything. Welcome to decentralized software. All right. Coracle 0.2.29. Register URL handler for web Nostr. Combine search and scan pages. Clean up notification page. Add note share page. Coracle now has an app store. Any comments about Coracle? They have interesting like UI.
Coracle is awesome. It has an app store because it has separate kinds for the applications. NIP 89.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't get what's the App Store? What does the App Store do?
It lists applications that handle shit.
Really?
Yeah.
What is the App Store?
I thought you used Coracle.
Well, I use it sometimes, but sometimes it crashes. Like it stops loading notes. Oh, I can see it. Wow. Oh, this is all NIP 89 powered, or is this hard coded?
I think it's NIP 89.
Who created all these recommendations?
Arthur created a bunch of them. I created a few. I created the ones for my apps. I don't recommend other people's apps.
Why is the NIP not merged?
I don't know. Someone with commit access, with merge access, should do it.
I gave you merge access.
I'm not gonna merge my own fucking PR.
Well, why not? I do it all that. I even commit to master, so you should.
You know, real man merge to master.
That's the way I do it on MDK. I just write everything on master, and then I fuck everything up.
And you force push and whatever.
No, you also avoid collaborators, right? Which is perfect.
Yes.
The best way to avoid collaborators is only to merge to master. Keep on rebasing.
Rebase this now, Mr. PR.
That's right. And you do like a recursive touch on the whole repo as well. All right. I mean, this is clearly the third time this is a Nostr review. You know, it went like very serious, and then it's like we're starting to have fun, to like Jesus fucking Christ, you know, like just full retard.
Zero signal.
All right. So Nostr.social fixes several causes of profile pictures and reposts showing blah, blah, blah. Filters logged. User from discover screen. Links to notes or profiles are now tappable. Improve performance of posting notes. I have not used Nos.social.
Why not? You have an iPhone. You must.
I've used it. It's a nice client. It's clean. You can tell it's early days. I really like the brand though. Like it's nice and clean.
You can tell it's early days. It's not a compliment.
Backhanded.
Well, look, it's all early days across the board, all clients, right?
It's all early days. All right. Current version 0.0.9-Tamarindo. Zesty. Wallet Connect stuff. Wallet home screen redesign. Improved search view. Experiment direct messages. End-to-end encrypted direct messaging. Ability to share. Push notifications. Receive push notifications. Blah, blah, blah. Does anyone know how they're doing end-to-end encrypted messages? Is it just bare? NIP 29? No. Which one is the
04?
Yeah, 04. Is it 04 or does it have forward secrecy somehow? Because I'm gonna start my rant now.
I have not heard.
Yeah.
Well, that would be pretty big news if they did. I don't think so. I think they're just encrypting messages like everyone else.
Okay, so I'm gonna rant about this again. I think that OTR, which is an incredibly simple protocol for you to do whole Diffie, right? You just exchange an ephemeral key and you just keep on rolling it, solves all the problems of forward secrecy with NIP4. It's not that hard. Doesn't have to change the protocol. Has nothing to do with the protocol. As long as the other clients are interested in having the same spec, which there's a few already out there for OTR, and it's old. That means it works. We can have tomorrow forward secrecy.
But you can't you derive one key from the previous one?
No.
Because the double hatchet thing
it's not deterministic.
So how do you determine what's the next key?
You send another from a previous encrypted message, I think.
So if you lose one, what happens?
Doesn't matter because you stop using the previous one.
No, but then your peer doesn't get the new key it needs to decrypt the next message.
Honestly, I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked.
Why can't we just use whatever other stuff that is?
No, but it's so simple. Hang on. Off the record.
Well, I'm reading Wikipedia, the best place to learn about cryptography.
There you go.
But I can't find any details. So
yeah, there was a good implementation on Adium. Oh, there you go. Adium. Hang on. Adium OTR. Adium had a really good OTR. Yeah.
Adium is the pigeon.
That's right. Adium.
Purple.
OTR.
I tried to make a Nostr integration with Flip Purple, but Jesus Christ, it's too complicated.
Hang on. I love that we're gonna sort this out on air. That's okay. Johnny can cut all this horrible silence. Or don't.
OTR. I think you should prepare your rant better next time.
Yeah, I know. No, next time.
Oh, what about the NIP 44 that was proposed for encrypted messaging? That is just basically the same as NIP 4, but uses different algorithms. Have you seen that?
No.
So you're not reading the NIP's repo.
Yeah, I don't follow as close as I can anymore. There's just too much stuff happening in Bitcoin. I'm still reading here a paper on the OTR. All right. I'm moving on for now. For now. Anyways, so Blipster 0.5.1 zap message, added quotes and comments, 0.5.0 grouped posts on timeline and post detail, post stats, automatic refresh, info on overview page, profile QR, opens Nostr.
Apps.
I can't read every line to its completion. It's too much text.
Brazilian.
we need to get someone just to read this stuff.
I need Marty.
How do they do post stats? Do you know?
No, the post stats is like sum of likes, sum of zaps.
Ah, okay.
But they have a few click, and then they show a screen with all the zaps, all the likes, and list of people who zapped, etc.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Still reading about OTR? Or?
Yes, but I'm gonna read the next thing now. You know, it's funny. I thought it was way more wide implemented than just because for people that don't know, Adium is interesting because it was a multi-protocol client. So you could do IRC on it, you could do XMPP on it, you could do even, I think, ICQ on it. Like there were a bunch of things you could connect from. It was really good desktop app. One of the best desktop apps for IAM ever made. Like people should seriously look into it. You could skin it. It was like Winamp for multiple iMessaging. And they had this issue where they had to essentially offer you, forward secrecy over all these different protocols. And OTR was like the simplest solution they could find. It was really cool. And what's cool about OTR too is that you can do out of channel exchange and check of keys. So you know exactly who you're talking to. And the issue was because IRC DMs are not encrypted, right? Similar issue with Nostr, but in different ways. And, again, without changing any protocol, you could resolve that.
What about this simplex thing that Jack has been pointing out? Did anybody try that?
Oh,
Did anybody
amazing.
look into that?
Yeah.
So it's a protocol in itself, right?
Yeah, it's its own protocol. Fiatjaf used it with me too. Fiat, you had some opinions about it.
Well, I liked it. I like the design that is just send stuff to servers. It's basically like Nostr. Everybody can have their own server. Like you subscribe to a server or multiple servers, and the messages go through these. But they have more strict rules. Like you need a strict ordering of messages so they can do the double ratchet stuff that Signal does. So I think it's very good. I don't know if it's actually good, but it looks good. But on the other hand, I think it's too complicated to implement. And they only have some libraries in Haskell. So I think it would be hard to put in on Nostr clients, although I think they should.
So does it look like it could be the relay infrastructure can be used to persist these messages, and it's just the work on the clients, or is it more than that?
Well, they have their own relay infrastructure, but I think they just have like 3 public relays that everybody uses. But you can use other, like if people knew how to deploy simplex servers, they could, but it's not very clear. Like they just sell it as an app that you install, so everybody just uses the default servers. But it's actually very similar to Nostr, and we could, because like the idea behind it is very similar, or you could adapt it to Nostr, or you could just use the protocol as it is, but put it on Nostr clients. But both things are hard. We need someone with a big brain to do it.
All right. Miljan, Primal is your baby. Why don't you read your show notes? See if you can skip some words to keep it consistent.
Oh, I'm gonna skip many words here, but we're getting closer to feature completeness. We're getting closer to our v1.0 release. In the last few days, we released zaps finally. So now you can zap on Primal. You can do the one-click zap just within the feed without any additional settings. You can pre-configure your defaults. So basically the default zap that gets zapped. And then when you press and hold, we give you a few options that you can select from. What's nice is that we give you a bigger animation if it's a bigger zap. So that I suggest people try that. It's a lot of fun. And we have our animator working like on a monster zap animation that, like, if it's more than, let's say, 100,000 sats, you're going to get like your screen shaking or something like that. So having a little bit of fun with that, but it's nice that Primal has zaps. We've got a lot of really good feedback on that. Another interesting feature we launched recently is saved searches. So basically, when you can create feeds for your homepage on the primal.net homepage, you have a list of feeds that you can configure yourself. So these feeds could contain, your own feed, the people you follow. It could be feeds of other users. So you can go to anybody's account and add their feed to your kind of pre-selected list of feeds that you can pick easily later on. And it's really nice because you won't believe the stuff you discover by browsing Nostr through another person's eyes. So we had that for a little while, but what's new here is now you can create Primal feeds or Nostr feeds based on search results.
Miljan, how are you saving the list? Are you doing like nib51s of the searches?
We are saving that internally, and it is actually nib51s, but we're not pushing that out to relays yet. This is
because I'm doing something very similar on Highlighter, where you can put some pub keys and you can put hashtags, and then it creates like a feed of whatever you put on that list.
Yeah. We should take that offline. I'd like to collaborate on that a little bit and get more in sync. But yeah, getting back to it. So your list of feeds will then appear in all of the Primal apps that you're using. Currently we have a web app, but there are mobile apps coming up, and they will be perfectly in sync once you use those apps. And then we've added some kind of curated content, or maybe more like curated hashtags for unauthenticated users. And by the way, there's like about 20-to-1 ratio of unauthenticated users on Primal versus people who are authenticated. So we're kind of taking another look at our whole web app and making it a little bit friendlier towards those people who are not signed up, who are just kind of casually browsing, who found their way to Nostr through Primal. Yeah, journos. Let's make it a little bit nicer for them, because we've optimized the experience. Let's say on our Explore page, there's a lot of content there that's only relevant if you're logged in. So we're kind of rethinking that and making the whole thing a little bit more inviting because Nostr is so open. There's no reason to, hide any content. In fact, we want to double down on that. We want to make it very easy to find any sort of content by just kind of clicking around. That's a big difference from all the legacy closed networks. So that's basically the updates for the last week or so.
How do you do like the backend for Primal? I know you have like a central service that you have all the nodes in the world there and you query from there. How does it work?
Let's talk about caching a little bit, shall we? You guys want to talk about that?
Go ahead.
I'm
Go
good.
ahead.
Okay, so as you guys know, we've implemented this caching service, and the context for that, like the reason is we wanted to implement very fast UIs, and I think overall, if we back up, I think we need fast UIs, on Nostr just in general, and not only that, we need UIs that load quickly, but also we need a UI tech that respects the phone battery, that respects the phone bandwidth, stuff like that. And if we're going to compete with the likes of Twitter and all the other legacy, like you mentioned Instagram earlier on, like we need to be on par with that level of UX and that level of speed. So obviously, everyone agrees that those things are useful. The question is, can it be done in a way that doesn't introduce centralizing factors to the network and doesn't eventually corrupt the network from that standpoint? And I think we can, which is why we came up with this kind of proposal of caching services. And to be precise, to maybe define what a caching service is, it's a piece of software that you run on your server that connects to a collection of relays as defined by you, and collects all the events from those relays that are published to those relays in real time, stores them locally in a highly available manner, in a manner basically that guarantees, or there's a high likelihood that most requests will be served out from the RAM. So that clients that are connecting to that caching service can expect response times that are on par with those legacy centralized providers that we are competing with. And then if all of this is closed and proprietary, that's not very interesting. But if it's open and if you make it easy for anyone to stand up these types of services, then some interesting things happen, and we may get many benefits from it beyond just fast UX. We get to scale the whole network because we relieve the load off the relays. And on top of that, we're creating more copies of the content, which is a good thing. Nostr achieves some level of censorship resistance because of all these copies of content. So
I have 2 questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I interrupt you?
Please.
What if I'm publishing my stuff to my own relay that is like on my Raspberry Pi, and you're likely not to be listening to my relay updates, but then no one else will be able to read my notes?
If you want your relay to be publicly accessible, you can add it in your contact lists or whatnot, so that the caching services, these caching services that are attempting to connect to all the publicly accessible relays, will be able to pick it up.
So the goal is to try to connect to all relays, or because you mentioned like a list, and I know, for example, the Nostr, the Mastodon bridge, for example, it has like a list of relays that it connects to. So if there's a node that outside these, it won't see the node ever, which is not the best thing. But
okay, so strictly speaking, a caching service will work with a list of relays. When you stand one up, you give it a list of relays. A special case of a caching service is one that attempts to connect to all of the publicly accessible relays. This is what Primal is running. But as you know, we open sourced it, and whoever wants can stand up their own instances. They don't necessarily need to connect to all the relays. For some highly specialized applications, you can set the set of relays that you're interested in.
Like Blaster, they just put them all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's kind of the inverse of Blaster, right?
Yeah.
So rather than blasting all the nodes to all the relays, we are actually reading all the nodes that are published to a number of different relays and having them highly available for querying. So I don't know if I answered your question.
yeah, I think you did. But did you read my rant about Blue Sky?
Of course.
Can you summarize it for us, Fiatjaf? So
Is
who haven't
it
read
legit?
Just the title.
Or is it perhaps a scam?
Oh, I think they're not very well. I don't know. There are 3 points there, and the 3 things that people perceive about Blue Sky, and I think the 3 are false. But one of them is the decentralization aspect. I don't remember actually what I wrote, but what I'm seeing is that if people start relying on these cache servers that you described, they will have to, like, for one of these to be useful as the network grows, it will have to be much bigger and grow and grow and grow, at the point that there's probably just 1 or 2 in the entire world capable of running the entire, like, archiving the entire Nostr network and making everything accessible. So we inevitably fall into a centralized environment.
It's interesting to consider what happens when kind of this plays out. I think the fact that others can easily stand these things up, the incentives are there for other apps to stand up their own instances, and each of them to kind of serve their own user base and their own use cases as well. So they might not want to, let's say, store all the event types for a specific app. They might be interested in a subset and so forth. So I think what ends up happening is we end up with dozens or hundreds of cache instances. Now, the ambitious ones that you pointed out that they want to try to archive everything. I agree with that. There will be some kind of infrastructure investment that would be required to run something that archives everything.
But if you think about this adversarially, like, if it's possible, it's going to happen, right? Like, the first thing that, a-holes, state actors, pretty much same thing, or any sort of like, malicious entity is going to do is this sort of low-hanging fruit, DDoS or spamming of the network, right? They're going to try to interfere with like its normal operation. And this is not hard to do, especially if you have a credit card with decent limit on Amazon. So like, it's like you don't even have to use the nice sort of efficient version that Miljan wrote. At least in my view, like I think it's inevitable that people are going to do it. So I think it's time that clients get a little smarter, also on how to handle this kind of stuff. I think you happen like, I mean, like even just imagine a client not requesting every event from a relay, or, just the things need to get a little bit less than clients. Actually, right now, the clients are DDoSing their relays.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they're only DDoSing the top 10, the relays, pretty much.
That's right. I mean, there is a reason why BRB doesn't go back online. It is online. It's just treading water.
I want to go back to Fiat's point for 1 sec. So this is like a valid concern, right? The biggest caching services that attempt to cache and archive everything will be not super simple to run if Nostr is very successful. However, it's actually, I think most apps will be able to get away with way less than that. You don't need to archive everything. To be able to achieve most of the benefits from caching, you just need to get the latest stuff, the last few days or whatever, which is what's most requested. And for that, you don't need like some monster hardware to run that. Like it's actually quite efficient. So I'm certain that there will be dozens of instances that connect to all the relays, but don't have a full archive. And if that's the case, then I think that's a win for this decentralization, because you have all these extra copies of content that we otherwise wouldn't have had.
I always like the idea of having what I call buffer relays. I think we talked about this 2 episodes ago. Pablo was there and Fiat was there. Realistically speaking, the clients are not going to get their shit together when it comes to talking to relays. Like, I mean, it's been already this far. It's very clear they're just going to like, fuck it, request everything, right?
That's not true. That's not true. Snort is not doing that. Coracle is not doing that. Gossip's not doing that. And there are other clients like implementing more smarter and smarter ways to fetch stuff from relays. And NDK is also implementing that, and I hope like newer clients will start using NDK. The current app also talked about doing it.
Well, I stand corrected.
And actually, my whole pitch for caching services is incomplete because I didn't talk about clients at all. So when you implement clients that have these competencies to deal with caching services, this is not a replacement for Gossip. It's not a replacement for being able to communicate with relays directly. It's in addition to. As a client, our recommended implementation is you get your quick kind of response from the caching service. And then you also connect to the relays, not only for publishing, but also for reading. And you maybe do a subset of reading to keep the caching service honest, because the caching service can only lie by omission. And then the clients should be configured in such a way that the user can select which caching instance to use, or they should be able to switch caching off altogether and kind of fall back onto Gossip and reading from the relays. So it's not a matter of whether we use relays or Gossip or caching. I think the answer is both. And certainly in Primal, we're going to do both.
Okay, that's good to hear. So, but let me just say one thing. Like NVK talked about buffer relays. Why don't you like why can't the caching service act as a relay? Like, and the client that relies on that, it treats it as a relay that is like a very trustworthy relay that is likely to have things very fast. So it treats that as a special relay, but it's still a relay in the sense like, and then it becomes easier to switch to other of these special relays, and also I don't know if you want that, but other apps can rely on that to fetch stuff, or I don't know.
We do want that. I mean, we don't necessarily want all the apps to be hitting our own infrastructure, but we want, other people to be able to stand up their own instances and communicate them in a very similar way as they would to relays. In fact, that's how we design our APIs. It's all WebSocket, and there's some additional stuff that we have, but we've certainly attempted to create our APIs in a way that's very relay-esque.
Are you storing all the stuff in RAM?
We're not storing all of it in RAM, but we're caching it in the way when it's queried. The way we configured it is it kind of all ends up being in the RAM, like as much RAM that you as you want to give to the cache.
I am a RAM maximalist.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
DRB is RAM only.
The whole point is to make this fast. But then we wanted fast UIs. I'm a simple man. I just want my UIs to load immediately. Not later, not partially, but fully and immediately. And, what do we need to do to get that done? Turns out we need to write some caching services. But in addition to that, surprisingly, we get some other benefits, potentially also boosting our overall robustness of the network in terms of more copies of data everywhere.
Another interesting aspect of the caching and having an index is that you can make gossip even better, because you can. The whole idea why I started Purple Pages is because I started an indexer a few months ago, and I noticed that I could tell what was the right combination of relays that you wanted to query when you asked for an npub's data. And that could be a way to bootstrap a gossip. When you want to query for users' notes, you can query a few relays, like this Purple Page style relay. You can query what is a good set. Don't give me the intersection. Give me the best possible union for this npub or for this hashtag.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to implement that on Purple Pages?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a new kind, too.
Guess who was the first person to stand up a caching service after we open sourced it?
Very shortly,
Nice.
while moving.
Yeah, he was also on the plane, of course, just to make it more interesting.
Plain internet got a lot better.
It's very decent.
Yeah. It's probably because they increased the price, so there's just 2 people using it.
Perfect.
All right. Agora update. New icon, smart search, discover tab, added friend feed, new look for mobile with bottom tab. No drama? No. Agora's fine?
Yeah, I didn't try it. I just clicked on it now, and it started to ask me to decrypt my DMs. I hate DMs. People should start trying to decrypt my DMs. Okay.
I agree. I really don't check the DMs on Nostr anymore much. I make a point out of it because if you reply to somebody, naturally they expect you to respond later, but then none of the clients do DMs reasonably, so then you kind of lose track, and then it becomes broken telephone.
I think the fact that some clients have DMs inside the UI, the normal kind one UI, it breaks the kind one UI a little, and they should just remove that, and they can make another app that no one will use. So I don't know. Yeah. Every
once in a while, I see someone responding with a kind 1, tagging a kind 4, saying, "Oh shit, this was supposed to be secret." It's beautiful.
Where did they see the kind 4?
I think it's a bug on Damus, because I've seen it many times. I go to my notifications and I see fail to decrypt. Yes. And I'm like, what the hell is this? But then if you reply to it's beautiful. and then you repost
a DM from someone else to choose someone else.
That's what I did. I subbed it. I couldn't see what the hell it was, but I subbed it and then I reposted it.
That's amazing. All right, Nostur version 1.0.44. Tap on unread count, improved speed, improved posts, menu, removed replying to, smooth scrolling improvements, test flight, added insta zapping, accidental installs apps can now be undone in 9 seconds. Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of a cool feature. Sometimes you accidentally press zap and you send people money now.
Damus has the same thing. I think in Damus, if you zap, you have a few seconds to unsap.
And zap. Okay.
That's a good idea.
And you click to unzap, it sends a Lightning Network request to ask the money back, something like that.
Desert, please, mi familia. I just sent you my whole balance of the wallet accidentally. Oops. Well, at least with Lightning, it's not the same problem as used to be in the early days of Bitcoin, which was proof of burn of sending to bad addresses because there was no checksum on legacy addresses. And a lot of wallets were not checking it properly, even for the count. It's so brutal.
For the count? Really?
Yes.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Some wallets ago, you type like poop.
Penis.
Like not even checking there's supposed to be a 1 first. Like no checking whatsoever. Poop, go. Money gone.
10,000 Bitcoin.
But what's the transaction sent to? That makes no sense. Like, shouldn't the thing be decrypted, base 58 decrypted?
No, like they'll just make a badly formed transaction that, like, you know, some of them wouldn't even be mine. Some of them would because they were bad, or they probably like filled in the rest of the data with like garbled. I don't know. It's just money gone.
We need to bring that back. That's the next peep, is bring that back.
That's right. Just
Darwinism.
no checking. Yes. And if you don't have enough bytes there to make a valid thing, just randomize it. Random fill. Somebody should make a JavaScript library called random fill. Essentially, if anybody types a thing that doesn't check some or doesn't do something, it just randomly creates a valid address for the thing. It could be a valid phone number, it could be a valid street address, it could be a valid Bitcoin address, it could be a valid something. At least it turns green when you press send. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Right. Nostrmo. I can't say this one. Can anyone say the name of this one?
Nostrmo?
Nostrmo?
Nostrmo.
There's no I.
1.7.0. It's a Nostr client for Mac, iPhone, and iPad. NIP 14, NIP 30, repost event.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know this thing existed and was that nice. It's from Japanese people. The Japanese people are crazy.
They used, yes, they're totally crazy. They used to make the best Twitter clients. And some great IRC clients too. Look at that. It looks quite decent on the pictures. I haven't tried it.
Yeah, it does.
It's on iPhone too.
Offers in-app purchases.
Holy shit.
I wonder what they sell inside. Like what upgrades?
Buy me 10 coffee. Buy me 5 coffee. Yeah, that's it. It's written here.
Buy Bitcoin maybe for shopping.
No, I think they just ask you for money in fiat. This is probably not made by Bitcoiners.
Yeah, I know, right? There is like probably like a good 5% of Nostr who are not Bitcoiners. And they seem very confused, especially like when you shit on socialism or something. They kind of go like, whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean socialism doesn't work? Whoa, 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 whoa. You saw that discussion with some guy, right?
Never been tried.
It's never been tried. It's like people completely oblivious that there is a whole group of people, probably 90% of Nostr, who already agree, discuss that socialism doesn't work. We don't have to revisit it. It's probably mastodon runaways. It's okay. This is a safe space for us to shit talk socialists because the name of the pod is called Bitcoin.Review. So it's very unlikely they're listening to this.
Well, it's Nostr.Review, so.
Yeah, I know, but it's still going to go under the Bitcoin.Review banner. You know, we want to keep the audience tight. All right. So, Nostri.chat version 0.314159. Is that pi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it just for you. I wanted to see your face while saying it.
I was like starting to read. I'm like, wait a second, I know the next number. Nice. Well done, sir. Okay, so do you want to read your meager release?
Yeah, it's very simple, but a lot of people wanted this. Is NIP28 support. So basically now you can put an embedded widget for a Nostr chat, like an intercom style or a drift style. But it's NIP28, so it's public group chat. Before, it used to be kind once, and it was fucking cool, but people were bitching that like the stuff that they were writing on a random website was being posted to their followers. So whatever.
Wait a second. What happened to opinionated software? Why are you taking customer feedback?
Now, I kind of see the point because I wanted to put this on the NDK website. And then, yeah, it kind of does make sense, but the kind of one is kind of cool.
Yeah. Real men do it on kind one.
Fuck yeah.
On base layer. None of this zapping on lightning. I sent it to Bitcoin addresses on kind one. That's right. Like a good boomer. And then I sent an email to confirm. All right. The software updates part of the show is done. Did we miss anything, guys?
Well, hold on. Like, don't we have highlighter and nsecBunker and stuff like that? This is just clients, right?
Yeah.
The best part starts now.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Services. Nostr plebes email. All Nostr plebe users can now receive emails sent directly.
No, this is skip to the next.
This is a boomer service for a boomer. This is amazing. I mean, you couldn't time this better. All right. Libraries. rust-nostr, because it probably involves Bitcoin, so you can't use Rust.
Really? Oh, really? That's true. Is that?
Oh yeah, there was a whole drama with the Rust community and trademarks, and they don't like Bitcoin, so you can't use Rust name with Bitcoin something. I didn't even bother looking too much into it.
What?
So yeah, there's a whole drama.
I'll become a Rust programmer now, and I'll make only libraries.
That's right. No. We're gonna fork it. Call it Crust, and I think somebody fork it to call it Crab.
Yeah, but the crab laying. Yeah, yes, I know. Well, we should call it like Beat Rust or something like that.
There you go. Rustcoin.
Rustcoin.
All right. So a remove tag from Zap receipt event builder, add LN URL tag, add support for handling NIP40 expiration timestamp, make preimage optional in Zap event builder. Nostr also accept display name in metadata. Add support for NIP58 badges. NIP47 by the Simple Kid.
Is that relevant? Anyway.
I mean, I see a comment, I read partially. I don't discriminate.
Yeah, the Simple Kid is weird.
Relays. Nostream version 1.25.0 implement open node payments processor. That sounds grown up.
Yeah.
Projects is essentially a category for when we know what the fuck to put the project in. So
it's the others.
That's right. MISC. And if you don't know, MISC is short for miscellaneous. All right. nblog version 0.4.1 add variable in source app.css that allows user to customize the color accent. Very nice. Version 0.4.0 UI redesign. I really like nblog. It's really cool.
I love it that the node release is add a variable.
Huh? Web dev.
And NVK will read it on air.
That's right. See, some people know how to game this show. Like we have a vast audience, and it's important that people figure out how to get their name in. And they know I'm going to read it anyways.
Good job, nblog.
Arcade version 0.0.5-alpha. This is Nostr.Chat and commerce app for Android and iOS. Okay, lots of updates. I won't read everything because most people here are doing exactly all the same stuff in terms of like updates. It's everybody's adding, NIP 57 or whatever. So just keep that in mind. So let's just talk about some of these because these are less known. Do you guys know Arcade?
Yes, it's the app that does messaging, right? Discussions and such. Is that right?
It
Maybe
says
I'm
here
wrong.
in my notes it's a chat and commerce app.
Yeah, I think this is the one that went through what's it called? The accelerator in New York, the NIDIC thing. What's it called? Well, I think this is the one that is trying to do like a super app.
Okay. It's then Elon is gonna get some competition.
I think this is like from that guy who did Arcade City, arcade.city.
Yeah, Arcade City.
The Uber thing that never happened, but apparently they're making us client now.
All right. OstrichGram version 0.4 introduces multi-relay chat functionality. Do you guys use it? NostriGram?
No.
I don't understand what's multi-relay. I try to understand what is this. Aren't all these chats already multi-relay?
Yeah, I don't get that. What are fat groups?
I mean, I have tried this app. It looks kind of cool. Like it's like Instagram. Is that the one that was Instagram, but like
No.
on Nostr? No.
No.
That I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah,
No, that's
this is
Nostr.Gram.
chat. This is just chat.
Oh, okay. Nostr Market, NIP 19. You can now publish a list of merchant public keys, market theme, logo and banner, auto-populate.
It's not NIP 19, it's NIP 15.
Oh, I mean, I'm reading what's on the
Oh
notes.
yeah, NIP 19 is mentions.
Yeah, it is.
Oh
NIP
yeah,
19.
it was Ben Ark put the type on there.
Yeah, it's the Ben
On
Ark
the
one.
tweet.
There's a nice little demo. It's great. That's pretty cool. I mean, like, I think how long do you guys think is gonna take before the dark markets all use Nostr and they just zap each other coke? I mean, I'm joking because it's gonna be very hard to do like full on privacy, especially like proper Tor and stuff. And I think they're all in Monero now because they're all spooks. But it's I don't know. Like, I mean, Nostr and markets, like my brain just sort of like just feels like, oh, this is just right. Like it's like hard to describe. It just feels like they just meant to do this. Were you thinking about this, Fiat, when you were designing Nostr?
Sorry, I wasn't hearing for a second. You're talking about markets on Nostr?
Yeah, were you thinking about people like creating markets when you were like designing Nostr?
Well, I don't know. There was something you can call design, but
Yeah, I mean, when you were putting out notes and other stuff about notes and other stuff.
no, my first thought was just social networking. But I think Bernard mentioned markets, like was one of the first things that he
Did you
brought
take
about.
all your hints from Orkut or from MySpace?
My hints?
People
No,
won't-
I use Orkut. Never use MySpace. Never use that.
I know. Only Brazilians know Orkut or Indians. It was the largest social network in Brazil and in India.
Yeah, I mentioned it on Nostr some days ago, and a guy answered, "Oh, it was very used in Brazil. Maybe it's still used there a lot." So the guy clearly doesn't know anything about Brazil because Orkut was closed over 10 years ago.
Google. Wasn't Google bought them?
Yeah, it was always Google. It was always from Google. Like this guy, the guy who created the Orkut guy, he worked for Google, and Google launched it. It was official Google thing. Always.
Yeah, it became the Google Friends thing. Shit. That, yeah. All right. Advanced Nostr search. Search Nostr nodes with filtering by npub date and keyword. That doesn't seem very advanced.
Who's this by? It doesn't.
No, this is very good. This is very good website.
Yeah, this is awesome.
What we need. Oh, it's nice and simple. Let's try. Search query. Let's try.
Oh, it's Sam. Some skies.
Hang on. Spinning. I didn't put a date. Nice. This works.
It's very good to be able to filter by npub, because sometimes
That's
I try
very
to
nice.
find stuff and nostr.band doesn't find stuff that I want.
Yeah, I'm going to start using this.
Yeah, this is good.
What do they call it? Oh, okay. He just needs a prettier domain.
I thought for a while about creating a relay that it will index everything you've seen so that you can search for something that you have already seen.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. That's a good
Miljan,
idea.
I think your search is faster.
Yeah, it is.
But
That's a good idea.
I can't search by npub.
Yes, I know. On the list.
Oh crap! I just saved poop search on my
On Primal,
on
it's
Primal.
impossible to get it out
Beautiful.
now. I mean, you're stuck with this forever now.
How do I delete?
Go to settings, click the little
Careful.
delete icon.
Hey, help!
Don't delete your account.
Or just keep it there.
Don't delete the account. Oh, there it is. And account deleted.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. Okay. Nostr.build creators page. Create an API that would make it easy for app developers to add a creator page button as an option on a note for created memes and content. I thought memes are the property of everyone. It would be free and easy for anyone to quickly access this content and add notes. Very nice.
That's kind of cool because you could have it that if you sub someone that is posting someone else's meme, that they could get a split of the sub.
I know, right? I mean, like, it's going to incentivize the memification, like the meme warring, like to become like 1,000x more interesting.
I've been told that that's how we win.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin wins because we have good memes, right? You go look at the Ethereum memes, Bitcoin is winning. Dude, having a network of money that doesn't need permission and still being alive or not in jail, that's
a plus.
That's fucking
It's a
winning
plus.
right there, man. Like, I am literally walking on the streets without having to look behind for a van, you know, picking me up and sending me to fucking Guantanamo, right? Like, I'm using free man's money. Like, it's crazy. I mean, it's so winning that they even tax it.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Nostr.build. Let me just make a rant here. Nostr.build is not a good name for a website that hosts images, right?
Yeah, but it's a
agree with me.
Nostr dot, right?
Yeah.
So he probably used a domain that he had. I respect that.
He could buy another domain like images for nostr.com and you resell this Nostr.build for a high price.
Or Mimster.
There's no way that domain is available. No way.
Mimster dot something, you know, there's Mimster.lol. Here, let me see if it's available. This show is not live.
Yeah, but I bought it already.
Really, Miljan?
No, just kidding. Memester.com is accepting offers, so it's not available.
Hang on. This might take a minute. A little bit less than OTR.
Let's
Memester.lol is available.
There you go. Let's see.
domains are a shitcoin.
They really are.
Look at that. I'm getting some bulk pricing here and done. Let me delete that. There we go. Okay, you can come talk to me if you have Nostr.Review.
Your war chest of domains just got bigger.
That's right. All right, so highlighter 0.3.1. Mr. Pablo, why don't you give us a read of the notes, sir. These are all your notes.
My assistant wrote them. So support to delete NIF51s and list items, which is kind of nice because my with so many tests, my list of lists was getting pretty ridiculous. I added nsecBunker support, which means that you can use highlighter without a Nostr extension and without giving your keys to the website, which is a horrible anti-pattern. Now I added feeds of npubs because each list on highlighter, you can create optionally an npub for that list. So when you write, you can write as that npub. But then people, so for example, I have a Pablo's to-do list. And then when I see something that I want to do, I can just write on the Damus responding to someone, oh yeah, I should do this. And I just tag Pablo's to-do list and it will show up on my list of things to do. And other people can suggest stuff for me to do. Like NBK can go in and say, Pablo, choose better names and add Pablo to this list. And boom, I'll be able to add it to my list. Mobile-ish support, just barely good enough for me to add workout logs when I go just running or I'm outside. Just I wanted that use case to be covered. So that's all I implemented. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is a repetition of the same. So yeah, that's it.
Pablo, instead of giving us a change log, why don't you give us a pitch for Highlighter? Maybe most people don't even know what it is, and it's one of the most interesting projects in Nostr. So tell us about it.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so the basic idea of Highlighter is that all clients that we're seeing right now, their focus is on the real-time aspect of the information that you're seeing. So you go to Damus, you go to Primal, what you're seeing is what's the latest thing that people have written. The idea of Highlighter is a client that is focused on the most valuable information that you and your network, as you might find it, is curating. So you're reading something and you make a note. So I used to, many years ago, I used to use Readwise, which is a service that it can sync your Kindle highlights and you'll get an email or something like that. The issue is that you lose discoverability because, yeah, you make these highlights, but you'll never go back and actually read them or act on them. So the idea is that if we bring them into Nostr, you can create whole discussions around these highlights. And that drives you pretty straight into the idea of a personal knowledge management system where you are taking notes. I'm starting to use Highlighter as a way to keep track of NDK and whatever other projects I'm writing. And it's pretty cool because you can interact in super weird and very interesting ways. Like what I just mentioned, that I can have this list and other people can suggest things for me to do, and people can sap the things in my to-do list to prioritize them. Or I can ask for feedback, and within my to-do list, I can see discussions about the stuff that I will have to do at some point. So I don't know, it unlocks a bunch of really interesting use cases. For me, Highlighter is kind of the intersection between, or the union of Readwise plus Evernote plus Realm Research and Notion and all these things that they all suck. Like they are really good in their own special way. But the fact that their information is locked there and that
Notion is a shitcoin.
Notion, it has some really cool things, but it cannot work. Like it has to be too fucking generic for it to work for everybody. Whereas in Nostr, I can implement my own vision of a Notion, and then someone else disagrees, and they implement something else, and someone else disagrees, and it's all the same data. There is no exporting of data. When you export your Evernote data to Notion, yeah, you can export the text itself, but you're losing the metadata, you're using the connections, like the most interesting stuff you're leaving behind. So that's the grand vision for a Highlighter. It's the kind of pitch that is way still too abstract and like 6 people get, but it'll get there.
I am a low note and no calendar maximalist. So like every time software starts to get in between me and having a note that has like maybe like just 3 lines of text, I start to like freak out.
But that's the whole idea, right? In Highlighter, you literally just go in and you create notes. on different lists, and then you can drag and drop them and copy the same node to multiple lists.
Are the nodes encrypted?
You can have them encrypted.
Right.
You can have them delegated. I'm calling it, which is signed by a different npub, or you can just have it as typical kind of ones. So you can choose. So if it's encrypted as an EPO4, but it's also added to the list encrypted. So it doesn't show up when other people see it. It doesn't show up.
Right.
And then you can write NIP23 like the long form, but you can write it encrypted. I put it as a different kind, encrypted, and it also saves it with a different npub, so people can't tell that you're creating these nodes.
So all you need now is encrypted tags, so you can just keep on adding won't fix, won't fix, won't fix, won't fix, won't fix.
People should see that. People should see
encrypted. So the people who suggested don't see it.
It's better if they see it.
They keep on zapping because they think you're doing something.
I think highlighter is such a great concept, and I think we have all these kind of social media kind of attempts at Nostr, and it's cool that you can take your keys and go from one client to another and all of that. But I think once you reach a certain milestone with highlighter, and the normies get to see that in addition to all this other stuff, the more obvious stuff that the rest of us are doing, I think that's going to be a real light bulb moment for people to figure out, oh, Nostr is bigger than we thought.
Highlighter was the first stuff that I worked on that when I told my wife about it, she wasn't like, oh, okay, whatever. She was, oh, wait, this is super cool. Can I use it now? I was like, well, yeah, it's clunky.
Do you know how to use the command line?
I actually publish stuff from the command line into highlighter. It's like fucking cool, man.
Yeah, no, that's nice.
What command line client do you use?
NDK CLI, one that I made.
That's the one, Fiat. That's gonna be maintained
In JavaScript.
In TypeScript, sir.
TypeScript is essentially a lipstick on a pig.
Yes.
Like literally.
I fully agree with that.
Talk about lowest common denominator. So yeah, I mean, like the nodes market is like ginormous. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there. So there's definitely a market for this stuff.
I was on a call with Shishi today, and we were talking about Evernote. And he said, how big is Evernote? I have no idea. I haven't actually checked. And he says, oh, actually, he's checking. They raised, it's not the market cap, they raised 320 mil. And Notion raised another 400 mil.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, other people are charging to keep your notes available to the NSA. But they have AI on it so that the NSA can find it faster. Oh, God. Anyways, says the person who uses Apple Notes like me, right? So it's like it's available on iCloud. So, all right. Satellite.earth. Scalable media hosting for Nostr ecosystem. That's cool.
This is very nice. Satellite.earth is a client, a normal web client, but what is being launched here is like the CDN/CDN, and you pay a very small price in sats, and you get image hosting. I just tried. It's very good.
Very cool.
Yeah, Satellite is an interesting project. It's pretty cool. They used to have like a theory page that just said coming soon, or it wasn't theory, it was something like that.
Yeah, I was very curious about that. But
me too. But they just deleted the link, man. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, no. Is this gonna be sort of like a one button push to sort of launch a relay kind of thing? What's the?
Oh, it's for media.
No, it's just hosting images. This specific.
Oh, it's just this one. Oh, okay.
But it's paid. Unlike Nostr.build, I don't know why Nostr.build is not paid, but I don't know how.
It was paid.
No, you can pay.
You can pay.
You can pay for 5 gigs.
Okay.
See, I'd love to see a lot of this stuff have a desktop client that backs up the stuff for you locally. So, for example, say I start using this thing, right? I have all these nodes out there. Yeah, no. How do we handle as this early services like maybe die or have other competitors, and then we're gonna have a lot of nodes that don't have a link anymore to a picture? That sucks.
There's no way around it that I can think of.
What if somebody wrote a little proxy? So you give them your domain, right? Actually, that's even better. That's easy. They can do a CNAME or even like an A record to a domain that you control, and they host the images with their infrastructure on your domain. And then if they go away, you have a backup of the pictures. The domain is what's being recorded on the signed node, right? So you can just push it somewhere else or locally or whatever and point it to your domain again. And then you have like a longer term sort of like a better, I wouldn't even call it the graceful degradation, just like a longer term survivability there. I hate things that break the internet.
But it requires cooperation. Yeah, totally. That would require cooperation of the domain owner of the original service, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like this is for the person who's using, say, for example, I'm using satellite. I want to use satellite with my own domain. That's what I'm suggesting to them to do. Like things that break the internet piss me off. What?
You're making a really strong case for NIP94. I think Peter's going to be happy.
What's NIP94?
NIP94 is this NIP that it basically embeds links. I forgot how does it work, Fiatjaf? But it basically the idea is that it has torrents or something like that, and instead of embedding a URL, you embed something else and you point to the NIP to the 94. But then, Peter implemented that in Amethyst, and all images broke.
No, I think the way to do it is like you put a magnet on your URL, your image URL. So if the original server goes away, you can always fetch from the magnet.
Yeah, well, that's nice. I like that because then it's like a fallback, but it doesn't interfere with like a more efficient use with centralized domain services. But still, like, if you're going to launch services for people to host shit that's linked from elsewhere, like make it easy for people to bring their own domain. Like, because, like the chances of people losing their domains or being censored on their domains are pretty low in aggregate. So I don't know, like it's just nice way of, because it's so early, right? I don't want to lose this early content. Is there anybody just blasting all the notes into Web Archive or something like that?
Well, not just the notes, but all the media that's linked. It would be interesting to archive all of that. Yeah,
let's bring them down.
Somebody out there. Somebody needs to do archive. Yeah, like a Nostr archive.
Archivester.
.lol. I mean, seriously, that would be so cool. There's been already so much amazing stuff out there that it's probably still living in some relay that may not be around, for like another few weeks kind of thing here and there. Like it's totally possible.
So archiving caching services take care of the relay content, but in terms of the linked media, that we need another kind of layer of media caching, which we're kind of looking at.
IPFS.
You're saying that sarcastically, aren't you?
Yes.
We are. Yeah. Yes, we are. We're in the process of doing that, and we're also going to open source that so other people can stand those things.
Well, there
up.
you go. That could be the Nostr Archivester.
What a beautiful name.
Let's put the Ethereum blockchain there.
Ooh, Merkleize everything, right? Cool. That would be awesome. Because I don't want to lose. There's a lot of like early history that's fun that would still be around.
Think of the memes. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, like Footster, original Footster chain. I mean, like, who wants to lose those pictures of feet? They almost bullied me into posting one. I didn't.
You're not even with Crocs on?
You posted one from the stage at Bitcoin Miami, man.
Oh yeah, well that was after. That was not participating in the food store. That was just after.
Did you tag it? Did you put hashtag food store or not? So you were participating.
I'm pretty sure I did. Fiat, you were going to say something?
No.
All right. Feel free to interrupt, Fiatjaf. Don't just because the noise there. You can do it. Don't feel.
No, John is bullying me. He's telling me to stay muted forever.
That's okay. We're gonna survive.
He's censoring
pretty
you.
Horrible background noise, but we'll survive. We want you in the conversation, and I know you need to interrupt. That's how Brazilians work. I'm not joking, by the way. That's how we are. Like it's literally how conversations happen in Brazil.
It's in the Constitution.
Yeah, it's in the Constitution. Njump, a Nostr static gateway made by Fiatjaf. You read your own notes, sir.
Njump. No, it's just a backend that displays rich previews. I tried this before with the Nostr gateway, but now Njump is much better. And now it has a nice interface, so you can, and it's hosted on nostr.com, courtesy of Ben. So you can link to nostr.com/npub, nprofile, note, event, whatever, and it will give you a nice preview. And if the person clicks, it will show a page of basic information and links to the clients. I had to implement the NIP 89 support, to list clients for weird nodes. That's it.
Yeah, Njump is awesome. I've been using it a lot. It's really, really, really useful. I used to just look on the console for the event, but this is so much better. My only caveat is it doesn't have mono size font, so it's a little bit annoying to read, but it's fantastic.
You prefer mono size font?
Yeah, to read.
Always.
To read, yes.
Yeah. Real man doesn't evenly spaced characters.
Yeah, I also prefer that, but Daniele, he changed the design, the original design that I had, which was much better. It was just everything monospace, but he made it with colors, and yeah, that's his blame.
Don't let the designers get in there.
You should shield the nak. That one is also yours, right? Nak.nostr. That one is fantastic too.
Fantastic. It just takes a code, like a NIP 19 codes, and profile and pub whatever, and decodes it and shows you what's inside, and vice versa. Yeah.
That's useful.
Super useful.
nak.nostr.com.
We'll add to the notes. I've seen that one before.
Yeah, it's green. It's very 90s web. It's it's super cool.
Yeah, this one no designer had touched that one.
Perfect design.
That's right. You know it's good when there is hacks on display. If you can't read the hacks, it's not right. All right, boosts. We don't do boosts on Nostr.Review. We'll save them to Bitcoin.Review next list episode.
You skip Zaplife.
Zaplife.
You're censoring me. The note wasn't on your relay or something. What the hell? I'll read my fucking own note. Yeah, it's simply just per user sub feed. So you can put Zaplife and then an npub. P and then an npub, and you can see whatever that npub received. A lot of people have been asking me for literally months for that, and I just absolutely hate the code base for Zaplife. Like, it's such a nightmare. So, but yeah, I added that.
Let me guess, it's JavaScript.
It's actually JavaScript that I wrote in like 3 hours before going to sleep. And then I started adding more and more things as people were asking for things.
Yeah. And now it's it's a great project. It's needed.
It's a cool app.
It really
and
is.
For those who don't know, it's zaplaf.lol.
There you go.
Great domain.
It is. .lol is very understated. But the problem is although I always like a true shit GTLD, they charge premium for short names for you to register, and they also are a ripoff, just so people know.
Why do you hate capitalism?
This is not capitalism. Yeah.
I did inquire about how much money and how long does it take to get your own GTLD, because that would resolve all my problems. So I'm just gonna get .nvk. Problem resolved.
Yeah, you don't have enough money for that. And besides the money, you also have to offer some child sacrifices.
Yeah, so I talked to the owner of a registrar that does like some interesting stuff, and he's like, man, so the problem is you have to wait for the next opening when they decide through the magic of their prism and their child sacrifices and everything that they're gonna maybe let another, I don't know, like 100 garbage GTLDs happen. You know how Google just got .dev and .something else? It took them 5 years.
Google.
Yeah. So, because the whole point of this whole shit was supposed for companies to just go and, pay $100K and get their own, right? But the process as usual, they figure out how to compromise it further, how to capture further, and how to monetize it further, and how to make everybody's life even more miserable around domains. So yeah. So I stay in standby for when he let me know that the process is gonna reopen, and maybe we'll try to put an application. He's excited about getting some shit TLDs with me. We're gonna get some fun stuff.
.nostr.
Maybe. And then we're going to charge per character the cost of the domain. And it's going to be exponentially inversed. Anyways. All right. So Project Spotlight. And this is the projects that didn't fit in projects that didn't fit into the software updates. Okay. Hey, nothing is happening in Nostr because there's no tokens. Okay. And there is no CEO. It's very hard to do this show.
It's pretty insane. Like, look at the size of this list. Like, we're not even halfway through it.
And Johnny puts a lot of effort into the shit. Like, and I'm sure we haven't even covered probably like this is probably like 20% of what.
Exactly my point. And half these projects I haven't heard about, and I'm kind of interested in Nostr. I'm kind of full time in Nostr, so it's insane the amount of activity on the development side of things that's happening here. It's just insane.
Yeah. Nostr Nests, an audio space for chatting, brainstorming, debating. So, dude, I was just talking about this one today, right? So I was just scrolling on Nostr, and then there was like a picture of what looks like Twitter Spaces, right? And I fucking click on it, and it starts playing. And I'm like, is this recorded? Is this a video? And like a total confused boomer. And it's like, no, holy shit. This is like Twitter Spaces actually working with like hundreds of people in it and like just fucking going. Like, and apparently there's a competitor to this too. There's another one, I think it's called like Plib Radio or some shit like that too. So like.
Oh, no. Plib Radio runs on Nostr Nests.
Oh, okay. So like, dude, like how are we not winning? like this guys, it's like, and this is made in JavaScript. Imagine when the the Python, the C people, even the Rust crust people go and do it. Like it's insane. It's amazing. It's like, and clients don't matter because magic of key pair technology, right? Like it just shows up on the other shit like magic. I was so fucking blown away, and I was just asking today if they're gonna add because I do not put my nsec on the browser, period. So I'm waiting for NIP 57.
07.
No. 07. I keep on forgetting.
47.
47 Nostr Wallet Connect.
Nostr Connect 46.
Oh, 46. Yeah.
46. Well, it's a NIP.
you have to memorize all the NIP numbers. That's the requirement.
Yes. Bitcoin is on 300 now.
Bitcoin has skipped the entire 200 range.
Shh. Don't tell anyone. Bigger number go up.
Look, like Junior is reserving that for his children.
I know. That's the best kept secret. Okay, so Nostr Nests, amazing. Have you guys tried it?
Yeah, I did a bunch of NDK Q&A sessions on Nostr Nests.
I wonder if it's possible for somebody in their team to come up with a JavaScript widget or like some video rendering server side that you can put this shit on Twitter. So like somehow it shows up on Twitter playing.
Oh.
And when you click on it, it takes you to Nostr.
Twitter doesn't allow it.
No, you would if it was video.
No, it doesn't play the video from that open graph stuff. It ignores the video. It just takes images and text.
There is some video stuff that you can put there. Maybe with the Twitter streaming API shit. Any way to get in there would be useful.
That's true.
Nostr.chat-fyne, an experimental chat client written in Fine. It's work in progress based on kind 9 ideas. Oh, it's your sand, Fiat.
So this is the idea. I have very stupid idea for a group chat that works, because I think NIP 28, that is current group chat that people are using, I think it's very bad. It tries to do filtering on the client side. It's very bloated. Like you read a message from a bunch of relays, and then you read other messages that tell you that message was blocked, that user was blocked, or that message was banned, and then you try to filter spam on the client side. I think it's very, very hard to get right and very bloated. So I came up with this NIP 29. That is just you pick a relay and you host that your chat group on that relay, and you just talk to that relay. And everybody, when you send a link to your chat group to someone else, they just connect to that same relay, and the relay is in charge of banning people, blocking people from writing to that, and so on. And this is a client that another guy did, because I talked to him about it. He got excited and made it.
Very cool.
And it's like a desktop client, very fast. It's not done, but I think it should be desktop apps, native apps for this, for us to compete with Telegram. But Pablo doesn't like it.
Why? The NIP 9, the kind 9 idea?
Yeah. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Pablo likes it. Everybody should like it.
There you go.
I'm not the CEO, you are.
Yeah, that's right. We have the CEO of Nostr here. All right. Pablo, do you want to read the next one?
Yeah. So nsecBunker, import your nsec to a secure, trusted...
By Pablo.
Oh, yeah. Of course, please. It's basically an E46 backend that you can use to have your nsec. The idea is that now you can use what I was talking before about highlighter, that you can use highlighter without entering your keys or without having an NIP 07, that you can still use it, is because it can use nsecBunker on the background. And basically it's kind of cool because you can create different policies. So you can have a policy where you say this npub can only, so you have what I'm calling the target npub. The naming, it's still a little bit unclear because I was working with Tony on a guide, and he was like, okay, how should we call this? This is a good question. This is getting really confusing. But the idea is that you have an npub that you want to sign as. That npub has the key inside the bunker, and what you sign with keys.
That's a great name.
I have no idea where it came from. It just came to me all of a sudden.
It's the foundation of a great product.
and I'm referring to nsecBunker, which of course is why I chose that name. nsecBunker.
All right, so I'm gonna try to explain nsecBunker better than Pablo.
Thank you, sir.
So it's actually very simple, right? Like, because Nostr has keep everything, and social media has not been invented with keep everything before, you kind of have a problem, right? How do you have your staff do notes, tweets between quotes, for your company account without sharing with them the private key for your identity, right? It's kind of a problem. In Bitcoin, if you have a key compromise out of a multi-sig or whatever, you just move the funds and whatever, right? Like screw that employee that may be compromised or fired or something. With Nostr, if your social media person gets fired, for example, you're
fucked.
You can't swap the keys. You're fucked. Right? So I'm sure Fiat was not thinking about this when he invented Nostr, like the social media manager.
Well, yeah, that did.
But it's also even worse, right? Because you can have 20 employees. They all have the key for Coca-Cola.
And then you don't know who's compromised.
You don't know who's compromised, or someone goes in and changes the kind 0 to a picture of a penis for the Coca-Cola key.
I mean, that would be
you have no idea.
great.
That would be awesome.
Go ahead, Fiat.
Well, let me defend myself. This is the reason why I picked that Schnorr BIP 344 thing, because I thought you could do multi-sig and would at least not that bad. But yeah, of course there are better ideas like nsecBunker.
So I had a nice arc here. First I was going to insult you and then compliment you. So Fiat was not thinking properly about the social media manager, except for the fact that he chose a way to do it so we can use Frost. And I had a Frost episode just previous to this episode coming out where we do address some of that. And some of the guys working on Frost, like Jesse Posner, is interested in Nostr. And the cool thing about Frost is that Frost is actually single sig, right? That's at least in regards to the Bitcoin network. It just Shamir secret shares in very more interesting ways than just Shamir secret on how you do the composition of the thresholds to create a single signature, right? It's pretty cool because now you can have a key pair that's static, right? So that private key never changes, but you can enroll and unroll people if we can support roast, which that part I don't know if we can do it or not with the Nostr implementation. But anyways, my point is what Pablo is doing now that's very cool is it's an old traditional way of handling employees, which is you don't give them keys. You just have a very secure server that has the keys. And then you give employees access to that server with an API that has policies like a normal HSM, hardware security module. And then you say, okay, you can send notes now on the company account, which they write the text and they give the text to this HSM service that then goes, it composes the note and then pushes the note based on those policies. And it's going to say, for example, you can't say the word poop, for example, or you can't send notes out during this hour and this hour, or you may need a manager approval or whatever. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It really is. Like, you know, like you have the Hootsuite, you have all those like massive solutions out there. So Keylog can go peddle their sugar causing, like their diabetes causing products. That is that the future? Sugar diabetes causing products using NSEC. Have you thought that far?
I that's exactly where I'm going. That's why I chose the name too. It gets me there.
Yes, it's very, very corporate friendly. Anyways, it's a very cool idea. I'm glad you thought of it and is building it.
Yeah, it's also cool. I implemented on this latest release one-use tokens, so you can create, say, policy only write kind 1, or only you cannot decrypt, for example, stuff like that. And then you can create like 100 different tokens, and you don't need to synchronize with the person that is going to redeem that token for access to that policy. They can just go and it redeems that token and authorizes that the NPAD, the client that the employee is using to have access to that one policy.
Very cool. Nice, man. So another one, kind3.xyz by Pablo. Pablo, please read your fucking notes. You're polluting here. It's every single one is. At least your notes are short.
This is my way of spamming you. It has real proof of work behind. Yeah, K3 is like a super simple app that I wrote a few weeks ago. Basically, you can go in and you can save your current list of people that you're following as an E51 list. And then you can go in and you do that as a backup. And then you can go into any of the people that you're following or just to any npath. And you can completely replace your list with whoever they are following. And you can experience Nostr with their point of view. So I wanted to check out other non-Nostr development or Bitcoin uses of Nostr.
Porn accounts. That's what you're doing. Because they all follow each other. That's how you create free content. So yeah, I used Nostr with Rebels list of follows for like a day, and then with Roya's list of follows for a day, and then some random photographer. And yeah, it's kind of cool because it's not just logging in with someone with someone's npath where you can't do anything, you can't interact with what you're seeing. This is you are following everyone that they're following and only who they're following, and you just use Nostr as normal, but with completely different people. Yeah. It's very cool. So Fiatjaf is leaving, so I'm gonna give him final thoughts, Fiatjaf.
I wasn't prepared for that. I wanted to talk about the Nostr Relay Explorer that is down the list. Please talk about it.
Do it.
No, you do it on the sequence, right?
No. We can skip things.
I also wanted to talk about Nostr script. It's down there. We should have skipped like these updates that do nothing and have started from the end, to the beginning.
Hey, listen, on the next list, we're gonna get the Nostr CEO to organize our list.
No. Can we talk about Nostr script?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I don't know anything about it. I wanted you to maybe Pablo knows.
Oh, I don't know anything about it either.
I just clicked the link. It's a thing from Damus. WebAssembly implementation that interacts with Damus. It enables dynamic scripting that can be used to power custom list views and pluggable algorithms.
I can't find it. Nostr script. Oh, okay. So way down the list. I see now. Oh, that's very cool. I think I heard
about it. We didn't talk about it on the last episode, yeah.
Yeah, he did. So I guess he's working on it. I didn't even notice. So this is really cool. If I remember correctly, essentially he's creating a modular way for people to create their own feed algos, right? And then you can share them, you can sell them, you can, you can sort of like create multiple, you can have multiple on your feed. This is really cool.
And it's written in C. Oh my God, this is beautiful.
It's written in C because we don't have a C implementation of WebAssembly. And I remember him talking about it like 2 years ago. And I think he's using it now.
That is very cool.
Yeah, the other thing is this Nostr with 3 R's in the end, .com. A relay explorer. I think the UI could be better. And I don't know how, but anyway, you can click on the relay and you see just the nodes from the relay. And I click on the random relay here and I got like only Japanese nodes. 100% Japanese stuff.
I think the way to say it is Nostr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Berberichas, so he speaks Spanish, so Nostr is right.
Nostr. Cool. Any other notes you wanna say before you go?
No. Thank you very much. And
hey, thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. And that was the message from the CEO of Nostr.
Yes. Bye.
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 Thanks, man. That was great. That was a quality exit. Okay. So why don't we do why don't you guys pick some that you want to go over, and because we're gonna need at least another hour to go over the rest.
This one, Yakihone, this one is cool. I met the people that are building it in Miami, and these are non-Bitcoiners, former Web3 ICO kind of person, and they've seen the light and they're building on Nostr. But it's very cool because they're coming in from a completely different point of view. They are very open to data modeling ideas. So I was really trolling them on the NIP PRs, and then I met them in person. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were a real person.
That's cool. But it's so cool when people are so distant from the core sort of like inner groups and cliques around projects. They really try different stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really ended up really liking them. And it's a Japanese centric client for long form for NIP23. Yeah, it's super, super cool. I mean, the site, the app itself looks very, very polished.
Very nice. All right. NDK by Pablo.
Oh, Jesus. Just
I think we should just assume that projects are by Pablo.
We should just now we're gonna do a Pablo.review.
With half the signal.
No, I mean you're shipping code.
That actually would be a good podcast. I would tune in.
I didn't
for
publish
that
all these notes, okay? This is not me.
Oh, Jesus.
You just publish the software.
It's a premium domain. They want $400.
Pablo.review?
Yes.
He actually looks it up.
Of course.
Svetsky got Pablo.gay.
Yeah. Tony got NVK.gay.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so what should we know? What's new about NDK?
I don't know. Well, NIP46, of course. So the nsecBunker support stuff. It's super easy to now make a client that is compatible with this type of logging in, which is very performant. It's very, very, very cool. I think the UX is so much better than okay, go in and install this extension and put this key here and this. Like normies are not gonna do all that stuff. So that's cool. And yeah, I don't know. I can't recall. I implemented a bunch of really cool functionalities. I released today NDK 0.4, if I recall correctly. It makes it very, very trivial to tag stuff. So you can, I don't know, the interfaces are nicer. So if you're interested, check it out.
Very cool. I mean, like NDK is much needed. I really believe after seeing what BDK did to Bitcoin, like even though it's still early days and it's still very few people uptaking, like wallet software is hard. So like having people doing some of the heavy lifting so that app devs can go focus on interesting business logic is important. And I think NDK is gonna do the same for Nostr. Because right now it's very simple, right? But Nostr is going to become complicated once we get to NIP 300.
Nostr is complicated if you are not doing a centralizing a client. If you want to build a client that has decentralizing tendencies, that's really hard. But the same thing that happened with BDK, as a software developer, you don't know what you don't know. And writing a wallet, there is a lot of things that you don't know. And the fact that BDK takes care of all that shit for you makes it so much better.
Yeah. It doesn't send money to poop addresses, right? So anyways, like I think this is fantastic. Thanks for working on it.
Yeah, I'll kind of second that. NDK is so needed, and we are looking at it at Primal. It's just a matter of time before we incorporate it and kind of base our apps on it.
And and of course, right after that update, there is the Primal open source their Nostr caching service under MIT license.
Oh, that's actually on the list? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the update. We open sourced our caching service under the MIT license.
Yeah, I mean, MIT is a big deal. I mean, like, you're really giving it away. Like, it's not the GPL thing where they have to contribute back and then shit. It's like, you're really sort of giving it away. It's like...
We want people to run this, as was hopefully clear from my previous points. We want many instances of these caching services out there. That's how we win. If we are the only ones or one of the few that run them, well, that's a problem. That becomes easy to stop.
Yep.
And it's very easy to run, and it's very performant. I started running it probably like a month ago. I don't know exactly the date that it came out, and it crashed one time.
You guys just need to get a room. Just get a room.
We
actually do
already
have
did.
room.
All right. Nostrasia event confirmed. November 1 to 3, 1st to 3rd in Shibuya. That's going to be pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to going to that. There is an NPub how to get in touch and all that stuff on the comments. Kali is also another shipping fantastico. Nostr client silent DMs that break the DM graph privacy nightmare. So that's interesting.
Oh yeah, I saw his what he drew a bunch of diagrams. Basically, that's exchanging of two private keys, of two public keys. So it coordinates, and then it writes over those other public keys.
All right, guys. What else? Oh, Zapedit, Reddit style client for Nostr that needs to rename. Let's just mention a few names, even if we don't have the time to talk about them. Nostr Sovrn, without the E, simplify the process of setting up a privately controlled, censorship-resistant NIP5 identity for Nostr address, or as known as writing your own well-known file. Ephemerally, a Nostr relay that doesn't care about the past. Nice. A lot of people would love that, especially after spring break. Write.nostr.com, a NIP23 enable article editor for Nostr. Nostr.me.
The UI of Nostr.me is very nice.
Yeah, for kind of profiles and kind of onboarding UX, I think it's really nicely executed.
Cool, man. Listr.lol. Miljan, you suggested this one.
Listr.lol is just a really nice app for managing lists, nice and clean. People should check it out.
Nostr.band statistics.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention Nostr.band. I think Arthur there is doing really good work. I think he's done probably the most work in terms of analytics of Nostr network and events and users and so forth. So people who are interested in that kind of stuff should definitely check it out.
Oh, there is a good read, is nsecBunker, Your Nostr Keys Management Fortress by Tony. Tony wrote it and published it on abla.news. I mean, isn't this so cool that like everything that's happening also lives within Nostr as well, but is also accessible from the web? There is something kind of like weirdly special about this. Like it's almost like it's like sprouting its own ecosystem.
Something's going on here, guys, I think.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's very magical.
Yeah, and because of the Bitcoin thing, that you can actually pay within these things. Like it's not like, you know, you still have to like go cuck yourself to Stripe and put the credit card thing and then you never do it. And I don't know. It's just kind of fascinating how this thing is sort of sprouting. I really think that if we can solve the encrypted DMs problem, we're going to make a huge stride, because I've always found it kind of like, you know, who cares? I mean, I already have Signal, I already have, you know, like Telegram and all this thing. But like, you know what? Like people want to be able to have a sidebar conversation and know that's going to stay private, even if it's little as much as sharing a phone number. Hey, find my Signal, right? Or whatever. So like, I think that's like one of the little things that's missing.
Agreed.
Should we do final thoughts, guys? Or is there one or two more projects that you guys want to mention?
I think final thoughts.
Okay. So, any final thoughts, Pablo?
Yeah, I think we're getting to this point where things are, for the people that are looking, are starting to become more obvious. But the people that are looking are like 20. But I think these things could start spiraling out of control very, very soon. So we just need to keep focusing on building and showing all the stuff that can be built with Nostr, and just see how funny and weird things get.
Miljan, any final thoughts?
Well, along the same lines, like this list is just insane. And we know we covered only a fragment of what's actually being done on Nostr. And like, I don't know, do you guys know of any examples of a new technology or a new protocol coming along and like attracting this level of developer activity? It's pretty wild.
I mean, for me, the red herring, it really is Hacker News. As soon as you have a new protocol that everybody on Hacker News hate it means it's like we're right on the right track. Because it means it's like the VCs that are standard don't like it, don't understand it. There is no way for scammers to immediately capture it. It's like just right. It pisses off every single expert field as well. You didn't choose the right encryption. You didn't do this. Didn't do that. Didn't do this, right? Like Bitcoin was exactly the same way. And then just starts to accelerate. But what's really cool about Nostr is that Nostr is like reasonably easy to get in as a dev, right? Like, well, Bitcoin is like this just, like you get kicked in the balls with the first transaction to poop. So I really feel like the momentum is being validated, right? Like I feel like, before, like we're all a little bit sort of like drinking the Kool-Aid. This is fun, like everybody's coming, Jack made a huge noise. But now it's sort of like, okay, of course, users come in waves and slow down a little bit, but people are coming still. But the builders are building like faster than at the pump, right? So
yes,
it really validates that people are like putting their effort, their time, and like building in this. There is capital coming in. There's like smart VCs that are seeing opportunity and coming into this space as well. I think the stars are aligning, and all we need to wait is for Elon to make another mistake on Twitter or Zook to make another mistake on Facebook, and we capture those people on social media. But then there is the other 99% use of Nostr that has nothing to do with social media. That's also coming. I don't know. It's how can people not be optimists right now? I really don't get it.
It's incredible, for sure. And you're right, like the user growth is not really fully in sync with development activity growth, but that was always going to come in waves. And so we know the next wave of users is coming. It's inevitable. Like those things that you mentioned will happen, the mishaps on other platforms. They're just like random interest as well. We just need to be ready when that next wave comes. And that's what we spend a lot of time thinking about at Primal. And looking at this list of projects and all the development, that's just so bullish.
Yeah, one thing that I've started to notice lately is there's a lot more people speaking about user onboarding and what does it look like? What is churn? What does it look like? Why is it happening? How can we prevent? Like there is more product thinking. I know it's just, oh, this is cool. Let's build this because. I think there's been a turn of, we changed phase and we're thinking more in terms of product and adoption and stuff like that, which is absolutely fundamental.
Yeah. And with that, sirs, you all have a good day. Go back to coding. What the fuck you're doing here? And this was great. We'll do another one of these in a few weeks, and I'm sure there's going to be a list that's triple the size, and it's going to be even smaller fraction. I don't know, how the fuck am I going to find time to run a company and make a fucking pod of lists of prolific projects? Like, seriously.
It's a lot of work. Like, I was looking forward to this episode just to learn about stuff that I don't even know about, even though I'm in it full time.
Yeah, I mean, like, thankfully, like Johnny keeps track of all this stuff because it's a lot. So yeah, guys, you have a wonderful day.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. For more resources, check the show notes. We put a lot of effort into them. And remember, we don't have a crystal ball, so let us know about your project. Visit bitcoin.review to find out how to get in touch.